Good evening, everyone. My name's Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Tuesday, December the 17th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to give you guys a quick reminder, make sure you go check out the website. A lot of free, informative, educational information on the site. At the same time, if you're interested in joining our proprietary trading firm, or taking our education course, you could contact me at ccooper at wallstreettrading.com, or you could contact us via the button on the website on the upper right hand side of the home page. Aside from that, let's go ahead and jump into this market analysis here. We had the Dow down 9.25 today. The Nasdaq was down a little over 5.5, and the S&P 500 was down 5.5 points today. Taking a look at the breadth in the markets, we had 3,545 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 2,766 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. So you can definitely see breadth was in favor of the bears, but it's pretty much mixed. We did have 193 issues making new highs and 81 issues making new lows. So that's a little bit bullish right there. Let's go and take a look at the sector heat map. I see a little bit of weakness here in Microsoft. IBM gave back some of its gains from yesterday. Verizon and AT&T were weak today. Cisco, nice bounce there. CRM up 2% in the tech sector. We've seen some bullish action in Sprint up 5.5% today. Definitely seen some bullish action in the data storage stocks. We've been talking about this here for the past couple of days, if not weeks. SNDK, WDC, NTAP, which really didn't do much today. STX, we'll take a look at the STX chart specifically because we did post that on our company Facebook page in regards to the cup and handle pattern that it has on the daily chart. A little bit of weakness in the financials. JP Morgan down. Again, we're just looking at the heat map on my other screen here. JP Morgan down, Wells Fargo, AIG smack down today, down close to 2%. A little bit of energy, a little bit of pressure in the energy space. Chevron, ExxonMobil, COP, Schlumberger, Halliburton, MRO, TSO, NBL. Utilities a little bit weak today. So I mean, pretty much, it's a mixed market. There were pockets of strength a little bit in the tech sector, but overall, the market was a little bit more bearish today, I would say, based on what I'm seeing here. And we have the FOMC action going on, so the market's closed flat. We did have a little bit of early selling pressure in the morning, so the market's closed flat, and we'll definitely be getting some nice movement tomorrow once we find out what the Fed has in store for us here. So let's go ahead and break down the charts, starting off with the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF here, closed down 56 cents, just about down 0.32%, closing at 178.65. We still have these little this little double top action and play off this 180.175 high that we made. Then we have a lower pivot high that came in yesterday. You can see a big down move here, up move, back down. So this is currently a lower pivot high. Again, we're going to be watching this 177.55 level. Below 177.55, we have this rising 50-day simple and exponential moving average right here around 176.89, call it 177. So that'll be the next level to watch if we were to break below that 177.55. And then, of course, you want to keep an eye on today's lows. As, again, a break below today's lows, 177.55, 177, 176.89, 176 half, 176. Keep those levels on watch. To the top side, over today's highs, we will be looking for a move back up towards yesterday's highs, up towards this 180 level. We break above 180, look for 181. Let's go and take a real quick look at the ES, the S&P 500 futures. You can see a little key trend line that we have at the top of the screen there, going across the top. You can see we broke out right here. We rallied up, back test. The back test held. We rallied back up, pulled back, and we were just rallying up here. Double top on the ES. The futures around 18.12 half. We broke below 1780. That caused a little bit of a short-term selling pressure. We bounced right back up yesterday from that crazy overnight action we had. Then today we pulled back a little bit, little pause day. Again, we're going to be watching this 1760 level. All right, as long as we can continue to hold above 1760, we think that this is a possible buy the dip opportunity. We're still seeing some pockets of strength. We're not really seeing any key technical breakdowns in any key names that we're watching right now. If there is any key technical breakdowns that you guys may see in some key names that I missed, put them in the bottom of the comment section. I'll take a look at them. But we're going to be watching the 1780. If we could get back above 1780, that would be good. If we cannot get back above 1780, then we may have to start preparing for a breakdown below the 1760 level on the S&P 500 futures here. Let's go and take a look at the triple Q, the Nasdaq 100. The Nasdaq 100. Again, these charts aren't really correct here. This should be, you should have some candlesticks right here. I don't know why Thinkorswim has this doji action, but either way, a little selling pressure today in the Nasdaq 100, and we're going to be watching this 84.85 level, which happens to be the 20-day moving average. If we break below that 84.85, or call it 84.75, we'll be looking for a move back down again towards that 84 level. If we break above yesterday's highs, or if we get back above, say, 85.5, we'll be looking for a move up towards 86. Let me check something real quick, because this chart is still looking pretty messed up here. Let me show you guys what the chart should look like. And I'm actually going to have to send Thinkorswim a message myself, but the triple Q's chart should look like this, folks. All right, big down day from last week, then 2 down days that followed. Little spike up yesterday, then a pullback, little topping tail, then a move right back down. That's how it should look, and it's looking like this. So you guys can see how it should be shaping up for us going into tomorrow. In any case, again, keep an eye on those levels we just mentioned, and Nasdaq still hanging in there. Some decent action in some of those names there. And just since we're talking about the Nasdaq, we might as well just go ahead and look at a couple of technology stocks. Starting off with Apple. You can see Apple still pulling back into that rising moving average. Again, we have a lot of the accumulation of the most recent move up was down here around in the 526 and 512 zone. So they may want to just kind of slowly drift it right back down there. And if it does get down there, that would be a perfect level to buy. Or if they drifted back down towards a 540 level, I think you would be able to catch a little scalp off that area there. Let's go and take a look at another little heavy hitter stock that's been doing pretty well in the Nasdaq. That's kind of just hanging near its highs right now. Amazon. Amazon could get a pop next week going into that holiday weekend, where I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing a lot of online sales. So you probably hear about that on the media, and then that action, that little pump action on the media about Amazon making all these online sales could cause it to get a pop up back up towards that 400 level. We'll see how that plays out. Keep an eye on Amazon this week. Again, you had the same little type of range you had in Apple before it broke out. Keep an eye on this Amazon, folks. Again, back to what I was saying in the beginning of the video. STX. All right, we've mentioned this on our Facebook page. You can go check that out at Wall Street Trading, our Facebook company page. We had STX on the radar for that little cup and handle breakout. You can see they chopped it around last week, pulled it back in, but now it's breaking out. Keep an eye on STX for continuation over today's highs. Definitely could have some more potential to move to the top side up towards those 55s, maybe even 60s in the next couple weeks, if not months. But I like the price action in this whole data storage space. SNDK was a decent trade for us today, even though I could have traded it much better. But some traders in the chat room did trade it better than I. They traded it better than me, so therefore, they made some money in that stock there, and now this thing's shaping up for potential move up out of this little slight downward channel that it has on the chart there. SNDK, STX, WDC, another name that we've been keeping tabs on intraday in our trading room. WDC made a nice high, even though it pulled off the high a bit and put a little tail at the top, little topping tail action right there. Keep these ones on your radar. You can see the trend as of late is pretty strong, and they're probably going to be good candidates to buy on the dip intraday. All right. And then you have the NTAP, which has not been able to catch a nice bid like some of the other names, but it could if some people go tonight and see that they're buying this whole space up, and they may try to look at some of these other names that have not caught any momentum, like the SNDK, the WDC, or the STX. What else? Sprint, nice little pop up in Sprint today. All right, nice little jump up in Sprint. Again, Sprint supposedly put in a bid for T-Mobile. You have T-Mobile got a little bounce up today. Try to break out at the end of the day, as you can see on the 5-minute chart. One of the traders in my room called this. You can see it has a nice little range. So keep an eye on T-Mobile tomorrow. Maybe maybe it will get a nice little bounce tomorrow. We'll see. Keep that one on your radar. What else? Cisco, nice little bounce today, 1%. I'm trying to recover from the big gap down from the earnings. Not really seeing much there at the moment, but something to watch. HPQ up 2% today. All right, held the moving averages down here. Definitely a stock to keep on your radar as it could get back above this 28 level and maybe catch some nice momentum to the top side. All right, what else? GMCR. Keep an eye on this name here, GMCR. Some good action in this name. If it, waiting for one of these days, hopefully pretty soon we'll get a nice little wide range bar similar to something like this or something like this. Nice clean trade. Taking a look at the 60-minute chart, and you can see the stock. Let's see here 1 second. The stock just broke over the 74 2-day resistance. So if it go hold above the 74 bid, or maybe pulls back towards that level tomorrow, maybe look for a pullback buying for a move up. Keep an eye on GMCR. It's definitely starting to get some buyers in this name. As you can see, it's been trending up. Not with any real momentum yet, but it could maybe catch some momentum like it did right here. If some buyers are looking for a name to play going into the end of the year, GMCR could be one of those names. What else? The solars were in play today. Had a couple of traders in our chat room calling out the solars. FSLR. Take a look where FSLR is at. Again, like I tell you guys all the time, if you have a key trend line on your chart, you want to keep it on your chart because it could come into play, later on down the road. Where does this key trend line come from? This is a little triangle we had in. This is a little triangle we had in First Solar back here, back in December 2012 that broke out, rallied up. That allows us to draw this nice little upward channel. You can see how it acted as resistance right here on the bull flag from the news that came out that one day. I forgot exactly what the news was, but I remember trading it that day. And then you can see how that trend line came into play right here. All right, came into play a little bit right here. Now guess what? They're buying it right in front of that trend line, guys. FSLR over 56 will definitely be a trade to take, because you can see a lot of people probably got short on the breakdown right here at 56. It sold off a little bit back to 54. Now it's back at 56 in a short amount of time. If it gets back above 56, or better yet, if it gets back above the high of this red bar right here, some people are probably going to get stopped out, which will then bring some more momentum for it to pop back up towards these 58s. This big support level that was holding a support for 1, 2, 3, 4 for about a month, that broke down. May want to come back up there and check that level, and we'll see from there. So keep an eye on First Solar. Again, 60-minute chart. You can see a little potential bull flag forming here, big up bar, sideways action for most of the day. This is the setup that you would watch right in the morning to see if it gets a big powerful go off the open, or maybe a shakeout in the first 30 minutes and then a move up. This is one of those setups you have right here, and kind of most of the setups that I try to look for our guys, so we can try to make our money in the morning and call it a day. But FSLR. All right, CSIQ was one of the stronger names in the solar space when the solar started moving. You can see this one's forming like a nice little downward bullish channel right here. So keep an eye on CSIQ. The most recent higher low pivot was made right here at 26. It's at 29.75, or call it 30. So, if you're a swing trader, you could probably get long over tomorrow's highs and put a stop down here, risking 3 points. Try to make 6, try to make a move back up towards the 36 area, which is close towards the highs that it made back here in 2010. Looking at my monthly chart on my other screen. But CSIQ, you have SPWR, all right, you have SCTY, which has been a name that a lot of traders are waiting for, to get that big, high beta momentum breakout type of action, kind of like it had right here, but maybe this time around with more volume. With more traders watching it, more traders looking to participate. So keep an eye on this Solar City, SCTY. Solars are looking like they're back in play. Keep an eye on them. JP Morgan, the financials. Let's go ahead and talk about the financials here. Financials were weak today. All right, you have JP Morgan just chopping around this little choppy range between 57 and 55. If it takes out today's lows, I think it can start making a way back down towards the gap fill that we have all the way right here against this 55 level and 55 half. So in other words, below 55 half, this thing can go towards 55. Keep JP Morgan on your radar. I saw all the banks made new lows from the morning lows. I mean, Goldman Sachs still looks pretty good. This one's still making its way back up towards the top of the channel. But intraday, one of the banks that were holding up pretty well was Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, take a look at the 5-minute chart. Wells Fargo did not make a lower low in the morning like the other banks did. Most of the banks are making a new low at 11 o'clock. Wells Fargo actually held its low and bounced right back up. So Wells Fargo showed some relative strength on that aspect. If it gets back above this little range tomorrow with momentum, we could probably get a move back up towards this gap fill. Keep Wells Fargo on your radar. Again, it showed relative strength to the other financials today. Something to take note of. And we'll see if that was relevant for tomorrow's trading in the stock. We'll see. Citigroup, again, week today, down 21 cents. Not really much action there. Pulling back from this most recent leg up right here. Just a little pullback. We'll have to wait and see what levels we expect buyers to come. We can look for buyers to come back in the stock, which will maybe be down here around, around 49.30, 49.50. We'll see. Maybe it has one more wash down, and we could buy it against this trend line that lines up perfect with it. You guys see that? All right, so keep Citigroup on your radar. Bank of America, let's see what this thing did today. Down 6 cents, pretty much flat. Still pulling back down towards that 15 level. We'll see how that shapes up. Let's see what else here. Again, we saw some weakness in the energy space. Let's go and take a look at those names. ConocoPhillips, COP. All right, this one's setting up for a short tomorrow. All right, especially if it breaks below the 68.90 level here. So I'm putting my alert right now so I don't miss it. But ConocoPhillips had this little big range right here, broke down, a little downtrend, rallied right back up a little bit, and now it's trying to move back down. Keep an eye on ConocoPhillips if it breaks below COP, if it breaks below today's low and then takes out those 68.90s. All right, Chevron was weak today. All right, Chevron caught a little bounce here because of the ExxonMobil strength. Sympathy trade pulled back, rallied back up, double topped, and now we're moving right back down. Chevron is possibly going to come back down to 117. We're just seeing some weakness in this energy space. SLB, definitely a name to keep on your radar for tomorrow for a possible short. Looks like it wants to come back down and check this 84 level, which is the top of this little range it had before we broke out. So SLB back at this 84 level, or even if it does like a little flash down below 84 and touches this 200-day moving average right here around 83.29, that would definitely be a good area to try to maybe do some scalps on this Schlumberger. See, let me go back into the financial space here. AIG, again, what a garbage stock to trade. The stock's in a little uptrend right here. Possible head and shoulders pattern, guys, which I'm starting to notice right now. You have your neckline down here around 47. You have your left shoulder right here at 51. Your right shoulder right here at 51. Your head up here around the 53.33 area. If this stock starts to break below 48.50 and we get below this little trend line of these higher pivot lows, we can possibly see a move back down to 48. We break below 48, 47. We break below 47. We can move down. Now I know that's kind of mapping out a possible bearish scenario, but that may be a situation just to watch. All right, you always want to have your scenarios mapped out, so if it does seem like it's playing out, you can maybe get a little bit more aggressive on the position. All right, but anyways, keep an eye on AIG. I do not like the recent price action on it. Gapped up yesterday on that AER news, and then it pulled back down. You would have thought it was a good gap since it had this little choppy range for about 3 weeks. It got above that 50 level, but then guess what? Nope, they sold it right back below 50. So you can tell that 50 is a key inflection point on it. That a lot of people don't think the share is worth 51 or not, or 50. If not, they would have held that bid down there, and it's smacked right back down. Possibly going to trade back down towards the bottom of this range. We'll see. Just a stock that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention today, because if the stock was really strong, it would have held 50 today. So it's definitely a stock that's showing, I would say, it's just not trading good. It's a weak stock, pretty much. What else? Triple M, big day today, up close to 3%. I'm not seeing any news out on it. I'm not sure if this was news related. Let me check my Google real quick. It probably was news related. Let's see here. Yeah, they looks like they raised their guidance. They affirmed long-term sales earnings growth guidance, raises dividend 35% ahead of analyst and investor day. So Triple M, maybe look for some more follow through in this name tomorrow. Looks like it may want to touch this 132 level, maybe give you a spike above 132 tomorrow to trade inside some of this gap. Definitely keep Triple M on your radar. It looks interesting. Going to put my alert on it if it gaps above today's highs. All right. I mentioned in the weekend review video that we were seeing some strength in some of these dry bulk shippers. Let me take a look at some of these names. FRO. All right. Not seeing anything crazy there. DSX. All right. This one's pulling back to this trend line, right? We have a trend line break, and like we preach in our chat room, trend line break. You have a breakout. We have the pull back, and we either hold that trend line and move back up, or we either put a higher pivot low in front of that trend line and move back up, or it's a failed breakout where we break above the trend line and we just break right back below it, and next thing you know, we're back at the low of that initial breakout candle. All right, so right now, DSX, Diana Shipping, is holding the back test of the trend line break. Bounced off of it today, so this name should have some buyers. Keep an eye on DSX over tomorrow. Yes, today's high, sorry, over this 1220 level. Take a look at the 60-minute chart, and let's take a look at the 50-minute chart. And you can see how the nice little bid down here around 12 and started moving up near the end of the session. They're keeping on this name for tomorrow. Looks like over 1220, this thing has a lot of potential to go back up towards these 1250s, guys. All right, so keep this one on your radar. Then you have dry ships, which is looks like it's trying to get some action here. It's been been a nice little uptrend since the earnings report here. Upward channel play right there. It's an up move, pull back, and now it's in the upward channel. Just cruising along, nothing too crazy there. A little low price stock. All right, so let's take a look at the IWM. I know I'm jumping all over the place today. I didn't look at the IWM at the same time as the other indices, but let's go ahead and take a look at it right now. Again, IWM holding that 50-day moving average, and it's coming right into this trend line right here. Close right on it today. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. It's either going to have a little topping tail with a higher pivot low and closing the lows. If they come out with if the market hears something that it does not want to hear from the FOMC, announcement or the meeting, however you want to say, but or it could get a breakout candle tomorrow and close right back or right at this 50-day, right at that 50% trend line from the big upward channel that we have marked here. All right, so keep an eye on the IWM. It's right at the key trend line. Again, if you're looking to trade it intraday and you're looking for that leverage while you're trading it, you would go towards the TNA, which is 3 times long the IWM, or TZA, which is 3 times short the IWM. Okay, we're seeing some bullish action in Visa. Visa up 2.5% today. Remember, it had that momentum from the MasterCard news, and now it's making new all-time highs. You gotta take a look at the monthly chart of this thing. Look at the monthly chart on this thing. Well, I can't look at it right there, but let me see here. 1 second. Stop being lazy. 20-year monthly chart. This thing has just been a nice little steady uptrend ever since 2011, all the way down here from 70. Now it's 213, guys. Power stock. They're definitely doing something right over there, and the stock is making new all-time highs. Let's see. Is Discovered Card Financial moving with these credit card companies? DFS, AXP. Nope. So we have Visa and MasterCard for sure, showing that strength in that credit card space there. And if I missed another name, you could punch that up. Let's see. Home Builders, Toll Brothers. All right, little action here. Toll Brothers still trading in this range. I'm really waiting for these names to really start catching some momentum. Maybe they're going to start catching some momentum into the new year. All right, Toll Brothers on the monthly chart looks like it could be forming a big cup and handle pattern. But in general, these stocks here, guys, big range in Toll. If once Toll gets above 35 and can start holding that bid, it's going to be pretty good. You already see that starting to hold above the 50% trend line or level of the big range we have right here. All right, 32. If you can hold that bid at 32, this thing may be gearing up for another attempt to try to break that 35. Keep these names in your radar. How can we have high expectations that it's going to try to break out? Well, look at the other names. Are the other names starting to move? Well, look at HOV, Hovanian Enterprises, another real estate housing sector play right here. HOV. All right, I'm not sure. Let me see. This is a home builder. 1 second. I think they're a home builder too. HOV, yeah, residential construction. So you have HOV, which it's breaking out of a little falling wedge. All right, HOV breaking out of a little falling wedge action right there after the earnings report. You have KBH. All right, not really doing much, still trading sideways. And then you have Lennar, not really doing much. So these names are just trading sideways right now. Definitely not a sector you want to focus on, in my opinion, at the moment. The coal stocks, which got a nice little bounce early last week, they're kind of giving back, crapping right back down, I like to say. WLT still holding above this nice little base of support down here around 1354. CNX still remains one of the stronger coal stocks in the space there. I like the way that chart's shaping up going into the new year, as long as it can continue to hold above this 35 bid. And then you have BTU, which is kind of just hanging around there, holding a nice high bid around 18. So we'll see how that plays out. A couple guys in the room were talking about HLF today. All right, HLF, you can see, made a new all-time high today and then pulled back off that high. Definitely watch this one tomorrow. Could have some action there. What else? That's about it, guys. I definitely have some more stuff to talk about, but I do not want to make this video any longer. So make sure you come check us out in the chat room tomorrow morning, mywallstreettv.com. If you're looking for the password to log in, again, just send me an email to ccooper@wallstreettrading.com, and I can help you out with that, or just fill out the form on the right-hand side of our homepage on the website. Have a great night, folks. Cheers.